All right, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you again.
This is the same guy.
That matches. Take it down again.
Now, if I send somebody over here to fucking kill you, then what, bro? You taking food out of my kid's mouth, bro.
Hey guys, Al from GuitarFinds. And you've probably heard the saying, crime doesn't pay. But apparently, scammers didn't get the memo because they're out here trying to get free guitars from small guitar shops across the country. And me, well, I ended up right in the middle of it all, with threats, stolen guitars, and a scammer who just wouldn't quit because I met up with him twice. And the weapon of choice that these scammers use are credit cards. And in the process, they leave behind a trail of frustration, lost money, and really just like a broken trust. And it's not just about the financial loss, it's the ripple effect that it has with everyone involved. For businesses, it means navigating endless disputes and paperwork, often at a loss. For individuals, it can mean stolen identities and years of rebuilding credit. And for those of us in the guitar world, it really just kind of tarnishes the joy of buying and selling and sharing that passion for music. And at its core, credit card fraud is theft, plain and simple. And it's a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance in every transaction. So if you haven't watched part 1 of this 2-part series, I encourage you to check it out. But let me give you the TLDR version, just so I can get you up to speed on things. So in the first video, my shop was contacted because someone wanted to sell us a guitar, which is pretty standard. We do our due diligence and contact the previous seller of the guitar just to confirm everything is on the up and up, because it was a really good price. We find out it was purchased with the stolen credit card, so we asked the shop, if there's anything we can do to help recover it, let us know. They say, hey, buy it for us and we'll reimburse you. We're like, cool, no problem. You're a very big shop in La Crosse, Wisconsin. What could possibly go wrong? And you know, yada, 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 and then stuff goes wrong. So in this video, I'll give you guys tips and tricks that my shop uses to avoid becoming a credit card fraud victim as both a buyer and a seller in this whole used guitar space. And I'll show you ways that we try to do our part to fight crime. And spoiler alert, when fighting these fraudsters, sometimes they'll even threaten your life. We shall see. Oh, in fact, they're here right now.
All right. Well, fingers crossed.
All right.
Stay safe.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Oh, hey.
Hi, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here right now.
Okay, when you walk in, you'll see me. I'm at the first table.
Okay, sounds good.
First table.
You.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, doing all right. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you again.
Cool.
They're both right there.
Okay. I have a Google ad where he just messaged me and said, hey, do you have, do you buy guitars? And I'm like, yeah. He sends me these 2 pictures and my response is, okay, but I do a Google reverse search and sure enough, this pops up on Google. I call the store down in Santa Monica and I'm like, hey, just curious, like, did you guys sell this recently? They say yes. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, well, this guy's trying to sell it for half price. So is there any issue? And then the guy immediately said, hey, let me contact my boss. The boss calls me and said, yeah, that was credit card fraud. It was shipped to a place in Modesto, and then it was stolen. And then it was.
We don't know.
Yeah.
He actually stole, but it's kind of weird that this is the second time you.
This is the second time. The first time, like I said, I didn't want to buy it, but I was told by the shop in Wisconsin that they were going to reimburse me
If you bought it.
if I bought it. And then they flipped the script and was like, oh, well, just send it to us and we'll pay you back. And I'm like, yeah. The only reason why I'm doing this is because, number one, I don't want to be caught buying something that is ultimately stolen, and I want to get this guy off the street. He said it was.
He's actually
okay. And then there's like this guitar. These are the guys out on the East Coast. I tried to call them, but I'm pretty sure this is the same one because of this little. In that case right there, yeah.
I'm about to leave. So I don't know what y'all plan is, but I know I don't need to stay here with y'all. These are still yeah, and now, but I look crazy because I'm out of my. This is embarrassing. Like, I'm not embarrassing. Like, it's police here. Like, you were just.
We last met April 11th.
Oh, is that what it was?
This was when I was like, hey, this guy's sending me these guitars, and it's a $15,000 guitar, and I'm charging $8,400. That's what this guy, because that's who I met up with. Same guy. And this was the place back in Wisconsin. I was like, yeah, they're trying to scam us. We're gonna get a bunch of info on them. But what happened is they never did get They never reported it. Yeah.
he ran the serial number and it's not coming back stolen, so they're calling actually
Okay.
Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Dispatch it. So when they looted Guitar Center, they had all this, and we recovered by serial numbers. Santa Monica, or the guitar shops give you a finder's fee.
I know. Especially after the last whole incident. I almost didn't want to do this because of the last time that happened. The good thing is that these people are stupid and they buy the most expensive ones, but the most expensive ones are also the most unique.
Right.
So this one, I immediately was like, half off.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you know, it retails for 12. I'll sell it to you for 5,500. I'm just like, let me reverse image this.
I think he bought it through fraudulent, like a bad credit card or something. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just as I leave Chevy's and start driving home, you know, patting myself on the back saying, oh, I did a good job. I was able to fight crime today. I get a phone call from the guy's buddy. And this is how it went down.
Hey, brother, I got a question, bro. Why you doing shit like that, man? Like, why you go out your way to do some shit like that, bro? You just call police, nigga. Why the fuck you doing that, bro? And now if I send somebody over here to fucking kill you, then what, bro? You taking food out of my kid's mouth, bro. I'm asking you a question. Are you crazy, brother?
I'm sorry?
I'll pay somebody another $5,000 to come find you, boy.
So yeah, he actually tried to threaten my life, and I was, at the time, kind of concerned, but now I just kind of look back on it and laugh. But, you know, since a couple years have passed by and, like, I'm still here, you know, now I just can laugh at it. But on that note, hey, sorry to interrupt, but, you know, a lot of you that actually watch these videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. If you could take a second to like and subscribe to this video, that would be super cool, and I'd really appreciate it. And for you doing that, thank you very much. Here is a picture of a very cute kitten. All right, back to the video. So yeah, I ended up meeting the same guy from the previous video twice. And I was genuinely shocked when I walked into the restaurant and saw him sitting there. So with that out of the way, I know you're probably wondering, what exactly happened? How did I end up with a vintage Strat in the first video versus having the police show up this time to recover the guitars? And to that I say, it all comes down to timing. So unlike the first time, the Santa Monica PD was super proactive and made a police report immediately. That allowed for me to go to my local police department and request their help. So it all worked out as planned. McCabe Music in Santa Monica got their guitar back, and the East Coast dealer that sold the PRS got their guitar back as well. So here's some tips and tricks that my shop uses to try to avoid becoming victims of this scam. So first, when someone messages us and says, hey, you know, I have a guitar that I want to sell, we kind of feel them out. We ask a couple questions, say, you know, oh, how are the frets? How much does it weigh? How's the action? Kind of questions that a guitarist would immediately understand and know why you're asking. But from time to time, you might get someone who doesn't know anything about the guitar. That's the first red flag. Not saying anyone that sells a guitar, obviously, they don't have to know about a guitar that they're selling if they might have inherited it or something like that. But that's the first line of defense. The very first, just asking some basic questions to see, you know, what their guitar knowledge is. The second thing that I like to always do is do reverse image searches. So if someone texts me or if someone has a guitar for sale, do a reverse image search on Google. You just click an image. If they have an image of a guitar, you drop that into Google, and then it'll scan the entire internet for any images that are exactly that copy. Because that'll tell you, okay, maybe it was previously sold. And if it was previously sold, you can then contact that shop and say, hey, when was it last sold? That's how we were able to determine all these guitars from the two videos. That's how we were able to get in contact with the stores that originally sold these guitars. They were all through Google reverse image search. So Google is your friend when it comes to these types of situations. Another red flag is if it's too good to be true. Now, I have built my business on deals that were legitimate and are legitimate, but they're also really good deals. So there are plenty of good deals out there. However, there are other times when you have a really good deal on top of the fact that someone says, I know nothing about the guitar. Those are just two red flags that kind of get you okay, well, where did this come from? And in some cases, it's completely legitimate and above board, but in other situations, it might be credit card fraud or something else that's not on the up and up. And another tip to consider, if you're gonna be selling a guitar, make sure that you sell it on a trusted platform, something like Reverb or eBay, because in the event that something happens and somehow someone issues a chargeback or the whole transaction is fraudulent, that's not in your favor, they will usually have your back. So for instance, if you sell a guitar and the person receives it and they're not being on the up and up and they issue a chargeback, eBay generally has you covered as long as you follow their guidelines, have signature confirmation, make sure it's delivered to the specific address that you see on the actual eBay page. They're gonna have your back and they're gonna cover that loss. eBay will take the loss on that. Same thing with Reverb. As long as you have signature confirmation and you ship it off and someone receives it and they are not on the up and up, or they're just straight up a fraudster and the whole credit card is stolen, and they're just trying to get a free guitar, you know, you can use that to your advantage, having that on that platform, because they will generally backstop those situations. They'll be the ones to take the loss so that you'll be able to keep the money, and then the platform will have to deal with the credit card company and you won't have to deal with it. So all of that changes when you have your own website, because you are the backstop, and like there's no type of defense against that. So if someone buys directly from you, which this is going to be a very small percentage of people watching this that are going to have their own website where they try to sell guitars from, but that is something to consider, that someone theoretically could buy a guitar directly through your website, and then it gets shipped off, gets delivered, you think everything's okay, but then a chargeback is issued. And you know, sometimes most likely, the credit card company will side with the buyer, and then you'll be out the guitar and the money, because the money will then be drawn out of your account. So that is one huge thing to consider. And how we deal with that is actually we kind of verify who buys from us. We want to make sure that we have some type of communication with the person beforehand, before we ship it off. And we also try to, you know, look up the address, kind of get a sense of, okay, what is this person? Is there actually like someone that lives at that address with the same name? And then we kind of go off of that. We kind of look at Facebook profiles, and we kind of get a whole, you know, holistic view of who this person is that's buying from us, because it's a huge risk to basically have your own website, ship something off, and not have the backstop of something like eBay or Reverb to protect you on these situations like that. Another tip that I want to pass on to you guys is that I use a website called FamilyTreeNow.com. And what that website does, it's basically like Spokeo. I think it's Spokeo. It aggregates all this information about people, their address, their phone number, their email addresses, and it puts it on one website. Now, Spokeo is a paid website, whereas FamilyTreeNow.com is kind of a free version of that. So I highly encourage you guys to use that. If you find yourself in a situation where you are about to ship off a guitar, you're kind of unsure about who the buyer is, they claim their name is so-and-so, so-and-so, they claim they live at this address, you can use FamilyTreeNow.com to input the address and then see exactly if that person lives at that address or not, or if it's some whole other person, and even has a phone number, which you can call them. And in situations like this where you're not using eBay, you're not using Reverb, phone calls actually do go a long way, because you can really kind of suss out, you know, is this person truly a guitarist? Are they legitimate? Are they kind of like mumbling or something like that? So it really does help in those situations. So that's what we do, and I hope you guys can take something away from this. So since the last video was posted, I actually was able to talk to Tyler from Dave's Guitar Shop, and we had a pretty good conversation. We talked a lot about, you know, what happened in the past, and he apologized, which was super cool, and I thought it was genuinely sincere. So I have no ill will towards Dave's Guitar Shop. I wish them the absolute best. We were able to clear the air, and I was super appreciative that, you know, we had that phone conversation. I told him, hey, I wish what happened in this video would have happened in the previous video, because, you know, I wouldn't have had to make this second video, because, you know, the guy would have gotten what he rightfully deserved, and he probably would have thought twice about, you know, trying to scam other guitar shops. In the end, this whole ordeal was a wild ride, but it reinforces something that I've always believed in, and that is trust is earned, not given. Whether you're running a guitar shop, buying a vintage guitar, or just trying to stay one step ahead of scammers, always trust your instinct. Do your homework and document everything, because it's better to be overly cautious than to end up stuck in a mess like this. And if this experience has taught me anything, it's that running a guitar shop is almost like being in an action movie, except instead of car chases, it's reverse image searches and awkward confrontations with scammers. But hey, at least I got a great story out of it. And now you've got tips to protect yourself too. So stay smart out there, keep rocking, and remember, if the deal is too good to be true, it probably is. So with that being said, Al from GuitarFinds, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.